I've used my camera in wet weather before, but recently I went snowshoeing in the rain and I learned a few things about using my camera that I want to share with you to help it make you more successful when you're using your camera in inclement weather. So the first tip is to simply not film in wet weather. If you don't need to be out in the wet, then do it some other day when it's dry. But if that's not an option, or you actually want to be in the wet weather for some reason, then these other tips will help make it easier for you to film and keep your camera going even when it's wet. So first, a disclaimer, I'm not saying you should get your camera wet. You need to follow the manufacturer's instructions as far as what your camera can and can't handle. And if you go beyond that, you're definitely on your own. Set up your camera in your car. Before you actually get out and go do stuff, get your camera all together. One thing to keep in mind is you're probably not going to be able to change your lens. When it's wet, when it's raining, you don't want to take the risk of getting water inside your camera or on the sensor. So make sure you have a lens that you're going to be able to use for everything that you're doing. If you're getting your camera set up inside your vehicle or somewhere where it's dry, it may also be a little bit warmer, which means that you need to let your camera acclimate to the cold weather for a moment before you can really start using it, because your lens may fog up or things may not quite be ready for that shock of the cold weather outside. But if staying out of the rain is not an option for you, the rest of these tips will help you make the most of filming in the wet weather. Another thing you may want to do is make sure you're using a bag that has a weather cover so that the stuff inside your bag stays dry as well. Bring a small towel. That way you can keep your camera body dry. You don't want to use it to wipe off the glass part of your lens. Definitely use a lens cloth for that. But for the rest of your camera, it will help keep it dry. And if nothing else, you can pat it down and wrap it in it before you put it back in your camera bag when you're all done. That way you don't get everything else wet. Another issue is getting water drops on the front of your lens. It can ruin your shot, make it a little foggy, and just make it so you're not getting what you want. Make sure you have a good deep lens hood. That will help keep the water drops off of your lens as long as you're not pointing the camera up at the rain or snow. They do, of course, make weather covers for your camera that you can use to keep the whole thing dry, which are a good idea, but they don't work as well when you're doing run and gun and you're trying to just go, go, go. They kind of get in the way of filming. So that said, I've never had any issues filming with my GH5 in the wet weather, except for the touchscreen. The thing is, the touchscreen uses the fact that your finger can conduct electricity to determine where your finger is on the screen. Well, the problem is water also conducts electricity. So when you have water all over your screen, the camera doesn't know what to do. So it just makes things a little difficult and can actually interfere with your ability to film at all. So as long as your camera is okay with getting a little wet, the easier way would be to actually just disable the touchscreen altogether, because once you're set up, you don't generally need it. I'm going to show you two ways to disable the touchscreen on the Panasonic GH5, but as long as there's a way to disable the touchscreen on your camera, the principles are still the same. The first way is to disable the touchscreen altogether.
Go to the Custom menu, choose the Operation settings, choose Touch settings, then turn touchscreen off. This is the simplest way. However, it means the touchscreen is entirely disabled and it is not quick when you want to toggle it on and off.
The other way is more flexible and you can toggle it on and off with a simple press of a button.
Go to the Custom menu, choose the Operation settings, then choose the Operation Lock setting. Now this is where it gets confusing. For everything you want to disable, set it to on. In other words, you are not turning on the touchscreen, you are turning on the lock for the touchscreen.
The operation lock can be used for more than just the touchscreen, so you may want to lock other settings as well so you don't accidentally change them while you're filming.
Operation lock needs to be assigned to a function button to work, so scroll up in the operation menu and choose function button set. Choose setting in record mode, then choose the button you want to assign operation lock to. Find operation lock in the list and press the joystick or menu button. From there, disabling the touchscreen and any other things you've specified in the operation lock is as simple as pressing a button. However, the touchscreen is only disabled from the main screen. If I go into a menu to change some settings, the touchscreen will still work while Operation Lock is enabled. So I can use any of the touchscreen functions for any menus that I need, and then as soon as I go back to the main screen, I can no longer use the touchscreen.
So now when you're filming in inclement weather and just can't keep the water off your touchscreen, you can just disable it so that your camera works as it should and you can focus on getting your best shot. So next week I should be releasing the short film that explains why I was up in the wet and snow to begin with. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out.